Hello there. On the day this video goes up, I will have turned 40 years old. Now, when a person turns 40, sometimes they go through a lot of emotions. Midlife crisis, I believe they call it. And sometimes people cling to their childhood, but not that I've ever been interested in anything like that. I'm a very mature person, and I definitely don't get involved in childish things. I would never dream of having, for example, video game themed room with comedy curtains and the like. When you hit 40, you also start to think about your past and think about your childhood and previous birthdays and such. And one birthday I always go back to was my 11th birthday, where at the time it was 1994 and GamesMaster was a massive deal on TV and in the playgrounds. And as a massive video game fan back in the day, I was obsessed with GamesMaster. And so, for some reason, I decided to have a GamesMaster-themed birthday party where all my friends would turn up, and there would be set challenges basically to get a certain score or a certain time on a bunch of different games, all Mega Drive games for some reason. I don't know why, that must have just been my thing at the time. And yeah, it was a fun day. Everyone turned up and everyone had a ball. But when I think about it, I realised that I didn't actually play any of the games on the day because, to my eternal shame, I was the Games Master. And therefore I was the one giving out the challenges, and the Games Master never plays the games. Come on. So we're now 29 years later. I'm now 40, and to this day I still think it would have been good to have actually played the games on my 11th birthday. And so, friends, you are cordially invited to join me to redo my 11th birthday party. And this time I'll get to play the games, and if you have a Mega Drive or, wink wink, an emulator and access to these games as well, you too can take part in the challenges. And if you want, you can send me your scores and we'll see who's the best. It'll be an 11th birthday party all over again, but with an international audience. Probably, most likely not. It'll probably just be me. So yeah, in this video I'm going to take part in my own birthday again. I'm going to play the 10 challenges that I set for my friends, and now retrospectively I'm setting for me 29 years later. We'll see how I do in each of the challenges, and then I will open it up to you lot to see if you can do better than me. This will be legit. I'm having one shot at this. I'm not going to keep retrying it until I get my best score. This will be like I was on the day that I will set these challenges one and done. And if I mess up, I mess up, and then you can all try and beat it, because they're all score based and time based and stuff, so they're all beatable. It's not like you either succeed or you don't. There's a scale there. So yeah, the only one problem with this, sadly, is that I didn't just present these challenges to my friends in person. I took it one step further.
Hello, my name is Christopher, and welcome to my games birthday.
I'm Christopher, and this is my birthday party, right?
Now, let's just hear what this wee idiot has to say and give him the benefit of the doubt.
So I'm going to be telling you what games are coming up and what to do in them all, and I'll give a wee bit of help about each one. So let's go, and I'll start.
A confident start. So we'll see how it goes. I hope you're all ready for the first challenge. I certainly am. Let's do it.
So the first game is a game that everyone talks about at school. I'm sure you all know what it is already, so I'm just going to show you. Right, so that's the game. Right, so what you have to do is a person from each team is going to play against the computer in a 2-minute half. They'll be England and the computer will be America. Now, what you have to do is score goals against the computer. It doesn't matter how many goals they score against you, but how many goals you just score yourself. So, like if you were playing the computer, if you were beating the computer 3-2, you would have 3 points. You know what I mean? It's the one with the most goals scored at the end of the 2-minute half wins.
Seems fair enough. This man clearly has a future as a TV host. So yeah, there we go. Let's go. FIFA International Soccer on the Mega Drive. England versus America. I don't know why I chose those two teams, probably because of the default teams or something. But yeah, here we go. As many goals in 2 minutes, which seems really tight. So I set up England versus America as requested. From what I could remember, FIFA, the original FIFA, you could score fairly easily from a distance. So as soon as the challenge started, I basically started hitting shots from long range to see if it would work. And fairly quickly it did, which was nice. I got an early goal and things were looking well. Ultimately though, America scored into me and then scored into me again. And I couldn't score again for the rest of that half, so it ended up I got beat 2-1, which basically means 1 goal. So yeah, one is your score to beat.
I hope you're having fun. If you're not, well, I hope it gets better. I hope you enjoyed that last game. So round 2 is one of the best shooting games ever for a certain film.
Okay, now I've not actually watched this for a long time, so I don't remember what these challenges are. I'm reacting to this first, and then I'm doing the challenges later. So one of the best shooting games ever for a film, and this is pre-GoldenEye, so it's clearly not that. So let's see.
I'm just going to show you now.
Mate, chase your cell.
Right. So what you've got to do this time is you've got 60 seconds to see how many points you can get. Unfortunately, we don't have the Menacer, so you're just going to have to use a joypad. That's tough. So, remember, blast as many robots and shoot as many heads off as you can. Man.
Did I just say man? Just because you have to say man at the end of every sentence in the early 90s, that's the law.
Don't forget, you've only got a minute, so if you go over the minute, when the minute comes, someone will say time up, and you'll need to press start button.
Okay, so it's basically a minute to score as many points as I can in T2, the arcade game on the Mega Drive. So let's try it. So counting it from the moment the cursor appears at the start of the game, I set my 1 minute timer. And it was fairly straightforward at first, until I forgot that Terminator 2 kind of drains your bullets almost instantly. Meaning your ammunition is really, really slow for some time. So I definitely missed a lot of enemies, and even in just the first minute. So there's plenty of scope to beat my score. And when all was said and done, even though I picked up the gun power up later, which speeds up the ammunition again, when it was all said and done, I've used Adobe Premiere to time this perfectly at 1 minute, and at bang on 1 minute, it's 11,700 points.
Right, I hope you're ready for round 3, because it's a bit of a change. What else do you need?
Wee smart arse showing off his mega CD in front of his pals.
Okay, so for this one, I'm going to pass you over to our special guest. The third game is this, so
That's actually my brother, so he's going to be absolutely delighted to see that he's been roped into this as well. Sorry, Kev.
Each player has 1 minute to blast everything, even themselves. Yeah.
yourself.
Right, let's go over the screen and see Clifford playing the computer.
So, I hope you've learned what to do. If not, I'll just run through it again. 1 minute. Blow up as much things as you can.
Okay, well, you heard the boy. 1 minute to score as many points as possible in Soul Feast on the Mega CD. Let's do it. So counting this one from the moment you get control of the ship, I think that's only fair that that's where it starts. Yeah, at first I was a bit worried when I was doing this one because I thought, well, maybe like the first minute of a lot of shoot-em-ups are fairly easy, so that it's actually quite possible to hit every ship in the first minute and rendering the whole thing a bit pointless. But then it wasn't until the very end of my challenge that I realised that you actually got a few points for hitting the debris that's flying about. The more you hit the debris, the more your score kind of slowly racks up. So I've kind of bottled this because by the end I was on 8,172 points, but having in hindsight realised that I missed all the debris at the start. But again, this is a one-shot take, and so there you go, that's my score.
And I'll be stopping in a wee while to get some yummy.
Alright.
But let's go on anyway. The next game is Super Smash TV. Now, I've got a wee challenge for you myself. See if you can stay alive for more than 10 seconds. I'm not going to say a minute to get as much points as you can every single time, so I'll make it easier for you. 60 seconds to get as much points as you can. And I kept my promise, I did not say a minute.
A young Bruce Forsyth here with the wisecracks. Okay, so a minute to score as many points as possible in Super Smash TV on the Mega Drive yet again. Okay, we're counting this one from the moment the scaffolding disappears. As soon as it goes, you can start your timer. The Super Smash TV is a really difficult game, but the first bit isn't that hard. It's only like as the levels progress, it gets ridiculous. So this is actually a fairly manageable one. The main way to get the points is to collect the little prizes and stuff that drop along the way. Annoyingly, I've had to rewind it back just before the minute, because brilliantly when you pick up a big prize in this game, it covers your score for a bit, so I had no idea what my score was for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds after it. So this is my score after like 59 seconds or something like that, but who's counting? So there you go, 110,780.
Hey, hello everybody. Me and my friend Sonic have decided to bring you a really old challenge. It's on Sonic 2. So what you have to do is collect 50 rings and collect 50 rings and hiccup and the one that does it fastest wins. First place is 3 points, second place is 2 points, and first place is 1 point.
I don't know why. I'm not going to apologise for the ventriloquism there, which I think you'll find was on point. But I don't know why I've just suddenly introduced a first, second, and third place system just out of nowhere. But let's not worry about that. Let's see what we had to do.
Now I'm going to set it up a wee bit for you. I'm going to change it a wee bit. You've got to go Tails since he introduced it. Hiccup. So you've got to do the Emerald Hill Zone. It's the first one to get 50 rings, and I really don't feel like this, but I'm sure, but I just can't help it. I've got to give you a wee bit of help. If you find yourself stuck, or if you're up at a big ramp and you've hardly got any room, hold down, press C, and let go of the two of them. You'll go dead fast. So you will.
This guy writing the strategy guides like decades before his time. Like this boy's an SEO machine.
That's the only help I'm giving you. The rest is look for TV boxes with rings on them. That'll give you 10 extra rings. Just 5 of them will give you the win. Right, by the way, remember this is a ring challenge. It is not a speed challenge. Beat 48 seconds.
Well, this one was short enough that you can see the entire run, I suppose, because obviously the whole point is to collect it as quickly as possible. Fastest time to get 50 rings, so I just went full pelt. I didn't need to use my useful tip, the speed boost, and yeah, it went fairly okay. I missed a couple of rings at one point, and thought, you know something, I will soldier on because there's no point going back, it's just going to waste more time. And yeah, at the end of the day, when all was said and done, the final time was 37 seconds. There's scope there to beat that, but I'm fairly happy with that one.
Hello everybody, the next game is... Wait a minute, I told you not to do the next game because it's just one wee chance and has a... Right, the next game is... Girls. Now put your hand up if you haven't saw this film. Never mind. I'll just is the same as the film, right? That is it. Right, what you have to do is it's the fastest through the first level. Never mind the apples, never mind the gems, never mind the points. It's just to get through the first level fastest. Now this is how good Kevin is. He's not really doing very fast. He's just stopping to kill the baddies. It is possible to do it without stopping.
So basically you need to get through Aladdin on the Mega Drive through the first level as quickly as possible. This is the one I'm probably most likely to bottle because it's really snidey game when it comes to taking energy off you, and if I'm going to run too fast I think I'm going to probably take a lot of damage from the guards and stuff, so I might actually die in this one and not manage it, but we'll see. Well, I was right in my prediction that I was going to bottle this one, and I absolutely did. I've decided to, I can't remember what the rules were back in the day, but I've tweaked the rules this time where even if you die, you get to keep going, because obviously you lose so much time with dying and redoing a bit that it doesn't really matter. You might as well get the opportunity to finish it. So yeah, I started really well in this game, like in this stage, going through, hitting all the enemies. You need to basically memorise where all the enemies are and hit them all with apples before, just as they appear, to stop them hitting you. Because most of the time their spring animation hits you before you get a chance. But eventually I did die. They got the better of me as expected, and then so I had to kind of restart from further back, which took a massive chunk out of my time, and therefore I finished it in 1 minute 41.56 seconds.
The next game is...
Right, there's one word of warning: if you don't like stupid superheroes with big ugly black tights, don't play this game. Yeah. As you see, I've got 2 lives. It's the most points in 2 lives. So yeah, the best ones you want to get are the ones that jump down, because they're worth 500 points, like them. It's 2 hits for them. Now I'm actually quite good at this game, so I'm actually hoping I don't get picked. It's a bit not fair. If you press C twice, he jumps. Does a cartwheel. Now, the reason I've chose 2 lives in this game is that it's dead easy to get killed. Not for me, of course, because I'm so brave.
Oh mate, give it a rest.
The people who have got the game will be practicing it at home.
No, they won't, mate. You just told them what it is like 2 seconds ago. I got a wee bit confident with this one, like, because when I started playing it, I was like, well, maybe I was right. Maybe I'm fantastic at this game, but no, it turns out not. The early enemies are really pretty easy, but when you get to the first boss fight, he's really annoying. I lost my first life against him. And then I lost my second life in the second stage, where there's a bit where you've got to do this wee grappling hook, and it's really fiddly and doesn't really work that well. And as I was trying to, but they keep spawning enemies over and over and over again, and so as I was trying to use my grappling hook to get the tiny wee bit of platform, I just got a kick in, so that was it. 25,600 is my final score.
The next game is totally bad. We've had it so long it's become another part of me. And if you don't believe me, you can just beat it. That's 3 tunes in one, right? Yeah, that's a game.
I mean, imagine if they had YouTube in '94. I would have been torn to shreds.
See how many points you can get in one life. Now he's already got 700, 800 and he's pretty crap, so you know how easy it is. I need to tell you how to go up the stairs because that's the hardest part of the game. Up and right, the diagonal button. If you're paying attention at school, you will know what diagonal means. It means down. It means neutral. And acid. Kick the woman. This guy's a child molester.
I was going to say that the game hasn't aged well, but after listening to that comment, it didn't sound like it had aged well even back then. So yeah, good times. My dad was filming that as well and just let me say that. Fair play, Jim. It's a good job nobody at the party back in the day actually had Moonwalker, because this actually went much better than I remember. To be fair, I played Moonwalker to death, and so this one life lasted me a pretty long time. So I got through all the smooth criminal stages in the kind of bar. I got through all the beat it stages in the streets, and then finally died at the end of the third world in the graveyard where the zombies, when one zombie decided to take his head off and throw it at me, which is a bit unsporting. But yeah, I found children everywhere, as is Michael Jackson's way. I found children in windows, I found children in bins, I found children in car boots, I found children inside bushes, and I found children in tombstones. But ultimately, it was all too much for Michael, and a zombie killed him, and with the score after one life being 117,100.
Next challenge is on Mega Games 1. Yes. Wait. Hang on. Right. We're putting on beginner arcade mode. You choose whatever tune you want, I don't really care. You've just got to see how far you get. There's your score there. That's your score up there. Every centimetre or something you go, you get some amount of points, right? When your speed flashes, that's 280 miles an hour, as you can see. You hold C and B together, and you go really fast, man.
Sounded oddly like an attempt at a Jamaican accent. That's borderline.
Now, what you have to do here is to see how much points you can get until your time runs out. Of course, this game is very quick, so who cares? This is not a time challenge, it is a pointy challenge thingy.
He's getting insufferable. Apologise, I know it's me, but I mean, come on. Okay, so beginner stage, get as many points as possible, so let's do it. I forgot how clunky the controls were in Super Hang-On and the Mega Drive, especially compared to something like Outrun. So I crashed like pretty much at the start, which wasn't the best way to start. And then kind of held my own, but managed to get all the way up to got through the second level without issue. Then got to the third stage, crashed there, and then crashed again one more time right at the very end, because why not? So yeah, my final score was 3,183,220. That's definitely beatable.
Right, the next game is Ancient. It was in 1991, and I call that Ancient because that was 3 years ago. It is called Streets of Rage.
Now you're talking, son, let's do it.
And you have to go Axel, and what you have to do is see how many points you can get in one life, because this is the most pimpy game ever.
The most pimpy game ever? I seem to remember, I don't know if this is just it was just in my school only, but back in the day, if someone was pimps, it means it was easy. Or that game was absolute pimps. I don't know where it comes from, but I believe it may have been from the phrase easy peasy lemon squeezy, which was then modified to easy peasy pimple squeezy, and then therefore pimps. So apparently Streets of Rage was the pimpiest game ever, which actually means easy, apparently. Streets of Rage 2 is my game, like one of my favourite games of all time, so I don't actually play Streets of Rage 1 that much because there's a better alternative. So I forgot how kind of cheap a lot of the enemies are in this one. Like, a lot of them will just throw a punch before you even before you can get to them, and a lot of them go really fast. Like, suddenly even the most basic enemies suddenly go really fast, so when you're attacking one, suddenly a guy will rock up right behind you and leather you. I got through the first boss, which I remember giving me trouble in the past, so I managed to just kind of sneak past him without dying. But by the time I got to the second boss, the kind of Freddy Krueger guy, I've always hated that guy, and sure enough, he ended my task with a score of 68,900. Well, friends, I think that's the end of the challenge, thankfully. Thank you very much for taking part in my 11th birthday party, and for tolerating an 11-year-old at the height of his confidence. Before I don't even know what to say, but it is what it is. I have no shame. The guy was 11. Leave him alone. He was happy, and little did he know that 29 years later he would be still talking about video games and still cracking bad jokes, but kind of getting away with it a bit more. Yeah, so if you want to take part in any of the 10 challenges you've seen, feel free. Just, I don't know, send me a tweet or an email, or just post a comment under this video and say what you got. If you want to make your own video where you take on the challenges, and maybe lay off the wee guy a bit, that'd be great, and feel free to link to the video in the comments and I'll come and watch it and see how well you do. No doubt some of you will cheat and have multiple goes at it instead of doing what I did here and have one shot, but you know something, who cares? It's just a bit of fun. Life is a bit of fun, so just enjoy it, and it's only fair and only fitting to go back to 11-year-old Chris Scullion for the final word. Goodbye.
I hope you enjoyed the birthday party. We're going to have fun now, and what I'm going to do, all I can say now is, if we've got any time left, you can watch a video, and thanks for coming. Yeah!